everyone, welcome back. Shout out to any new subscribers, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you enjoy this video. Some very interesting things to talk about today regarding Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman. Now, I think up until this broke, pretty sure we were all, convinced that Gal Gadot would not be returning as Wonder Woman in the new rebooted DC universe under James Gunn and Peter Safran's leadership. Based on, we know we're not getting Henry Cavill anymore, Ben Affleck, probably not the other Justice League members either that we've had casted so far. I think maybe Jason Momoa is the only one that was still maybe chance of returning, but probably not as Aquaman. And after The Flash, I don't think we expect Ezra Miller to come back. He might, but, I guess we'll find that out later. But with Wonder Woman, not too long after James Gunn and Peter Safran took on their leadership roles, and they walked back on the Henry Cavill return, they also said that Wonder Woman 3, the one that Patty Jenkins was developing at the time, was not going to happen, and Patty Jenkins confirmed that as well. And I think we all kind of took that to mean, well, Gal Gadot's probably not coming back either, because how are you going to have, a different Superman, a different Batman, and then have the same Wonder Woman? It just seems, that would seem very muddy and messy, but that might actually be the case, because when talking to comicbook.com about her new Netflix movie that's coming out this month, Heart of Stone, Gal did have a lot to say about that, and it was actually very specific. This was before the strikes that are going on, so she was able to talk about it, but she said, as she understands it, she will be developing Wonder Woman 3 together with Gunn and Safran. She said, "I love portraying Wonder Woman." We know that. "It's so close to and dear to my heart. From what I heard from James and from Peter is that we're going to develop a Wonder Woman 3 together." I did not expect that at all. She also had a comment about, people being cast in the new Superman Legacy movie. She said, "I saw that they were doing different screen tests, but I don't know who got it, but it seemed like everyone who was super legit, talented, and great. So I'm happy for them. It's such a huge take on. It's such an exciting beginning to any actor, and I wish whoever it's going to be the best of luck and enjoy the ride." So she had some, nice, positive, supportive things to say about that. Obviously, this came to a surprise for many of the fans that are, that saw this earlier today, because I don't know, first of all, really the only Wonder Woman project that they announced as, their chapter 1, which they said it wasn't the whole part. They just revealed some of chapter 1, and they're going to have other things supposedly to reveal at some point if they make it that far. Really the only Wonder Woman related project they announced was the Themyscira based series under the title Paradise Lost. So I don't know if she would possibly be involved with that, but she said a Wonder Woman 3, a film. That's obviously different from the series. I think the series is kind of supposed to kind of dive into the history of the Themyscira and stuff like that, so it might be pre-Wonder Woman, but she definitely felt confident making this statement. And like I said, this wasn't too long ago because it was before the strike, and it was when she was doing some promoting for Heart of Stone, which comes out, this month, so it was very recent. First of all, I love her in the role. I don't want to see her go. I don't want to see Henry Cavill leave. I don't want to see Ben Affleck go. I wanted them to have at least one last conclusion for their roles. So I would, of course, love to see her on screen. Now, the thing that fans are surprised by is that if you keep one of them, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, if you keep one of them, it kind of makes it seem personal towards the other actors that you're not keeping, especially because they had Henry Cavill make an announcement, a public announcement. Granted, it was before James Gunn and Peter Safran were officially in their leadership positions, but Henry Cavill made his announcement right after Black Adam came out, which was a month before the official start date of their positions. But I'm sure, obviously they knew already. I mean, it was only a few weeks before. So I'm sure they knew that they were going to be in those positions, and they knew what was going on. They knew that Henry Cavill was in Black Adam. They knew that the studio told him to make an announcement. They knew that they let him do a whole press tour talking about it. So they did that, but they walked back on that. But then, and it was so very public, but you're still going to have another person in your new DC universe. You're going to have Gal Gadot, maybe. If they decide to keep Ezra Miller around, which I'd be kind of surprised seeing as how The Flash performed in theaters, even though it was a pretty good movie. I just feel like their word obviously doesn't mean much, because James Gunn and Peter Safran, I mean, it seemed like they had similar discussions with Zachary Levi, who plays Shazam, because right before the movie came out, he was saying, you know, don't believe everything you see on the internet, don't believe everything you hear, because people were saying he's not going to stick around as Shazam, you know. But he was having this very snarky comments about, well, I wouldn't believe we're good and we have plans, and you know, he made it seem very confident that nothing was happening to his character. But then a couple days ago, I saw that he made a comment about, I don't know what the future holds. We haven't really had that discussion. I don't know if he's going to continue. I don't know if Shazam's going to continue. I don't know the future for my, but I thought he was so confident that, you know what I mean? So Gal Gadot also seems to have that same confidence, and it's like they're telling people these things, but then things don't turn out the way they want them to or expect them to, and they walk back on it. I don't think there's any way to avoid audience confusion, which is what Peter Safran said is one of their main goals and priorities for this new DC universe. He said that they want to avoid audience confusion as much as possible. And you're not going to really accomplish that if some people are sticking around and some people are not. And then it's like a double-edged sword, because if they give her, it's like, say her movie's Elseworlds or something, if it's not part of the main continuity of the DC universe, if it's separate, then there's always going to be the question of, why couldn't you do the same thing for Henry Cavill? I honestly don't know. If she gets another film, I would definitely be happy for her. I'd love to see her in another film, you know, as long as it's good quality, a good quality film. If they would have said, like, we're giving these characters a proper conclusion and then doing a reboot, I think it would make more sense to hear about this. They're kind of always like, oh, this person's on the table, this person's on the table, oh, it's possible, oh, we're still discussing, you know, and I know there's a lot of things to figure out and work out, but since there wasn't like a clear thing about concluding the current universe first and then starting a new universe, that's what muddies the waters, you know? Because then it would have made sense to say, okay, yes, Henry Cavill's still going to get another movie, but moving forward, you know, after the conclusion of this universe, we will be starting with Superman Legacy. You know what I mean? It would have made more sense that way, and then you wouldn't be expecting some people are sticking around, or this person is, and these other people are going to be recast, or there's going to be new, you know? It's very confusing. I love her in the role. I'd love to see her get another movie, but concerning the rest of their new DC universe, it's confusing. We'll see what happens. Hopefully she gets treated fairly. Thank you guys for checking out the channel. Head over to the short section and anything you might have missed recently. Thank you for the support. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. We'll see you soon.